So today I'm going to talk about the myofascial lines and their purpose in posture, movement. I'm also going to talk about the functional lines and how they're different from the regular myofascial lines. So the myofascial lines I want to talk about today are the superficial front line, spiral line, the lateral line, and the superficial back line. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the superficial front line. So as you can see, it starts at the top of my foot on the tarsals on my foot, goes all the way up my leg, and stops at the anterior spine on my iliac crest. And then it starts again from my pubis on my iliac crest all the way up my sacrum into the mastoid process. So the main posture function of this line is to help balance the superficial back line while we stand, and also supports structures from our skeleton that stick out beyond our line of gravity. For example, the chin. The movement function of this myofascial line is trunk flexion, hip flexion, knee extension, and dorsiflexion of the ankle. The next myofascial line I'm going to talk about is the spiral line. So the cool thing about the spiral line is that it's a double helix, which means it wraps around my body twice. So as you can see, it starts at the back of the occipital ridge of my skull, goes diagonally past my scapula, wraps all the way around past my ribs, goes all the way to my iliac crest, down my leg, stops at the tarsals of my foot, and wraps all the way around, goes past the fibia again, all the way to my sacrum and back to the occipital ridge. So the posture function of this is predominantly to help us balance, and also helps to keep the knee intact while we walk. The movement function of this line is predominantly rotation. So as we can see, when I rotate, the tape actually tightens, which kind of proves that it helps with rotation, which I find is kind of cool. The next line I'm going to talk about is the lateral line. So the lateral line, it starts at the tarsals of my foot, goes all the way to the malleolus of my ankle, goes up my leg again, along the side of my ribs, and again ends up the mastoid process. So the postural function of this, it helps balance the front and back, and also bilaterally balances the right and left. So, and it also helps us, it also prevents our knees from buckling while I raise my arms. And the movement function of this is lateral flexion, hip abduction, and eversion of the ankle. The next line I'm going to talk about is the superficial back line. So as we can see, the superficial back line actually starts at the bottom of my foot, goes up my calcaneus, again up my leg, goes up by my back, and actually ends at the frontal lobe of my skull, so the front right here. The main postural function of this line is very important because it helps us stand erect, helps us when standing. The reason for this is because this myofascial line is predominantly made up of slow twitch fibers. The movement function of this line is extension of the spine, extension of the hip, and flexion of the knee. So those are the four main myofascial lines. Now I'm going to talk about the functional lines. how that they're different from the regular lines. The reasons why these lines are different is because these lines help us more on with activities that go beyond our normal movement patterns, such as for sports. So for posture, they play a very key role in stabilizing our trunk during yoga poses, helps us when we move, stabilize our arms above our head, and movement, it helps us with our arms when we generate force when we throw like a baseball, do a backhand in a tennis match. So pretty much the reason it does this, it mediates force down our arm by lengthening our lever. So those are the myofascial lines. Hope you enjoy the video and learn something. Thank you.